There's a West African sea goddess so powerful. Her worship was banned in entire kingdoms. She controls the tides, your dreams, and if she chooses, your mind. Some say she gifts wealth beyond imagination. Others say she whispers madness into the hearts of those who forget to honor her. Her name is Olokun, the deep ocean deity feared and revered across continents. But here's the real question. If she called you from the depths, would you answer? So, sit back, because this is African Myths Unveiled. Before we dive deeper into the story, I have a quick question for you. I know that many of you are tuning in from different parts of the world, all united by a love for African mythology. So, I'd love to reconnect. Drop a comment below and let me know where you're watching from. I'll be in the comment section engaging with you. And if you're enjoying the content, a like and subscription would mean the world to me. All right, let's get back to the story. Before the first kingdoms rose on the West African coast, before the drums echoed through the great cities of Ife and Benin, there was only water, a formless, endless abyss that churned in silence, and from its deepest heart, a power began to stir. That power was Olokun. In the pantheon of the Yoruba people, Olokun reigns over the deepest parts of the sea. More than just a deity, Olokun is a force, mysterious, feared, and revered. She is neither entirely male nor female in all tellings. Olokun transcends form. She dwells where sunlight never reaches, where ancient things sleep and secrets sink into darkness. And yet, from these depths, she offers something all humans desire: wealth, wisdom, madness. In some tales, Olokun is the spouse of the mighty Obatala, god of creation. In others, she stands alone, sovereign over the abyss. But all the stories agree on one thing: Olokun's mood is as shifting as the tides, calm one day, wild and drowning the next. She can bless you with treasures, or pull you down into insanity. You never truly know what lies behind her calm waves. Many centuries ago, along the ancient coast of Ile-Ife, the sea began to whisper in strange ways. Fishermen reported their nets vanishing without a trace. Boats drifted back empty, their crew babbling nonsense or struck mute with fear. The elders knew. Olokun was calling again. They say one young woman, Adesua, heard the voice clearer than anyone else. She was the daughter of a local herbalist, gifted in midwifery, and known for walking along the beaches alone at dawn. One day, while combing the shore for herbs, she saw something glimmering under a shallow wave. It was a necklace, coral red beads strung with cowries. But when she touched it, the sea seemed to breathe. The water rippled outward, though there was no wind. A low hum rose from beneath the surface. And then she heard it. "Come closer, Adesua." Her heart froze, not in fear, but in recognition. The voice wasn't foreign. It felt like it had always been there, just behind the noise of the world, waiting. That night, she dreamed of an underwater palace made of silver and coral. At its heart sat Olokun, her hair like flowing kelp, her eyes vast and hollow, like whirlpools. Around her danced spirits with golden skin, their faces hidden beneath pearl masks. "The land has forgotten me," Olokun spoke, "but you will remember. Come to the water. Bring the people. They must offer, or they will drown in their own greed." When Adesua awoke, the necklace was around her neck, and in the distance, a storm had begun to form over the ocean. Adesua stood at the village square beneath the baobab tree, her voice quivering as she recounted her vision. The necklace still clung to her neck, warm, humming softly like a living thing. But the elders were divided. Some, like Elder Oyinlola, believed her instantly. "We've angered Olokun before," he murmured, stroking his beard. "There was a year when the fish vanished, and the waves claimed 3 canoes in one night. It took a blood sacrifice to calm her." Others scoffed, their pride too thick to admit fear. "Dreams are just dreams," one muttered. "She wants attention, not truth." But by dusk, the sea answered their doubt. Waves surged violently without wind. Seafoam rolled across the beaches like white fire. Fish, dead and gleaming, littered the shore, eyes wide in horror. The air was thick with salt and warning. That night, the villagers gathered in hush beneath the moon. Adesua stood at the shoreline, the tide lapping at her ankles. With trembling hands, she dipped a calabash bowl into the sea and raised it to the sky. "Olokun," she whispered, "we have come." The tide stopped. The ocean went still. Then, from the shadows beneath the water, she emerged. Not fully, just enough. A towering shape, half seen, half imagined. Her eyes like stars submerged in ink, tentacles of water and hair rising behind her like a crown. She did not speak with words this time. Her voice surged directly into their minds. "A covenant must be renewed. My name must be remembered. I give wealth, but take what is not offered freely." The villagers fell to their knees. The salt covenant was reborn. From that night, the people of the coast began offering the first fish of every catch, the first salt of every harvest, the first bead of every craft, all placed in baskets and floated out to sea. And in return, Olokun offered visions, riches, and peace. Adesua became Olokun's priestess, the chosen voice of the deep. Her hut was built near the ocean, where she spoke with spirits and interpreted dreams. People came from far kingdoms, seeking her blessing. But the blessing came with rules. Rules not all would follow. Years later, a wealthy trader named Okokobioko, bloated with greed, refused to make his offering. He claimed Olokun's gifts as his own doing, calling the sea just water. He sailed out with gold, spices, and 40 men aboard a grand ship. They never returned. Some say Olokun dragged them down. Others say she let them live, wandering in madness beneath the sea, forever counting coins that melt in their hands. Still, every now and then, when the tide is low and the moon sits fat and white in the sky, people say they see a woman walking the shoreline, her eyes glowing faintly blue, her necklace humming softly. She listens to the waves. She waits for the next whisper. It began subtly. Those who spent too much time near the ocean after nightfall started behaving strangely. One man, a palm wine tapper named Tayo, was found kneeling in the tide at dawn, whispering to invisible hands. He had stuffed his mouth with sand, murmuring, "The coins are watching. The sea remembers." He never spoke again. In another village, a woman known for collecting cowries was found building a throne out of shells and driftwood. When asked what she was doing, she simply replied, "Olokun is coming. She needs a seat to rest before the storm." The elders turned once more to Adesua, pleading for guidance. Olokun had given wealth, more fish than ever before, beads that sold for twice their worth, and even dreams that led to healing herbs deep in the jungle. But now, there was a price. Adesua returned to the shore for answers. That night, she entered trance, seated on black sand, her fingers tracing symbols in salt. The waves rose and the tide kissed her brow. In her vision, she was beneath the sea. There was no up or down, just infinite blue. Around her swam spirits with eyes like lanterns and limbs of water. At the center of it all sat Olokun on her coral throne, her hair floating like seaweed in slow motion. "Why do you take their minds?" Adesua asked. "Because they forget the balance," Olokun replied. "They want gold, but not reverence. They want to look into the deep, but they do not bow. And then, she showed Adesua what happens when offerings are made without understanding, when people chase wealth without sacrifice. She showed entire cities sunken beneath waves, palaces of marble buried under coral, crowns rotting in the sand, civilization after civilization swallowed by greed, punished by forgetfulness. When Adesua awoke, salt water poured from her mouth. Her eyes were filled with new knowing. She warned the people. Olokun does not punish with fire. She drowns with beauty. She seduces the spirit. If you take and do not give, you will fall in love with the ocean's secrets, and you will never return. But not everyone believed her. A group of young men from a nearby kingdom, curious and defiant, decided to test the myth. They sought to capture Olokun, trap her spirit in a sacred jar, as whispered in old forbidden scrolls. They never made it back. Days later, a giant whirlpool appeared off the coast, spiraling with violent beauty. It stayed for 7 nights, and on the 8th, a single item washed ashore, the sacred jar, shattered. Inside it, a human eye, wide open, staring upward. That village was abandoned. No one speaks its name to this day. Even Adesua began to change. Her hair grew long and silver like sea foam. Her voice echoed unnaturally, like it passed through water. She spoke less and less to humans, more and more to the tides. Some say she never died. They say she walked into the sea one evening, wearing her coral necklace, and vanished into the waves, not drowning, but returning. Her name is still whispered by sea-bound travelers seeking safe passage or fortune. They leave their offerings and hope. That Olokun sees and spares. Beneath the waves, where the sunlight dims and silence becomes sacred, Olokun still waits. But who, truly, is Olokun? In Yoruba cosmology, Olokun is the deity of the deepest ocean, the realm of unfathomable mystery, wealth, depth, and madness. Some say Olokun is female, others say male, while many believe Olokun is beyond gender, a force, a presence, an eternal spirit wrapped in tide and salt. As the ruler of the abyss, Olokun holds the secrets of the human soul and the submerged potential of creation. It is said that Olokun knows all that has happened beneath the surface of the earth and all that is still to come. But unlike deities of war or fire, Olokun does not shout. She whispers. Her voice comes in dreams, visions, and the rhythm of waves breaking on shore. She doesn't demand through violence. She seduces through desire. And this is the heart of the myth. Olokun is the keeper of riches, not just gold and cowries, but inner riches, creativity, intuition, psychic power. She gifts wealth, yes, but with each gift, she tests the soul. Will you lose yourself chasing glitter? Or will you remember the tides are not yours to control? In traditional Yoruba belief, honoring Olokun involves offerings of white cloth, silver, perfume, and salt water, all symbols of purity, clarity, and deep connection to the spirit world. Priests and priestesses of Olokun are often dream seers, gifted with prophecy or healing. But that gift walks a thin line with madness. Because here's the lesson. When you dive too deep into the unknown without grounding, you risk never coming back. This myth survives not only along the West African coast, but also across the Atlantic. Olokun traveled with the enslaved, in chains, but never in silence. Her worship continued in the Caribbean, Brazil, as part of Candomblé, and even among African Americans rediscovering ancestral paths. To this day, fishermen still whisper her name before casting their nets. Healers still place bowls of water before her shrine. And when the sea rages without cause, elders still say, Olokun is speaking. Are you listening? If you found this story as powerful as we did, Don't let it fade beneath the waves. Like this video to keep the ocean spirits happy. Comment below. Which African mythology would you like us to explore next? Subscribe for more tales of gods, monsters, spirits, and forgotten wisdom. And remember, not all that glitters is gold. Sometimes it's salt. And salt, as Olokun shows us, can both preserve and drown.